This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Chapter 4 of Grief and Loss, Finding Your Way Through, Supporting Others Through Grief. In this chapter, you'll learn: apply strategies for effective communication with grieving individuals. Let's dive in! About 1 in 10 adults stays stuck in intense grief for years, yet most of their friends quietly pull back after a few weeks. In this episode, we'll step into those silent moments and explore why the simplest words can either deepen isolation or gently open a door. Roughly 10% of bereaved adults will develop prolonged grief disorder, yet almost 100% will remember who showed up for them and how. Today we're shifting from "what do I say" to "how do I stay?", especially in a world where texts, DMs, and Zoom calls often replace kitchen table conversations. Instead of searching for the perfect comforting phrase, we'll look at small, concrete behaviors that actually help. Listening long enough for someone to finish a thought, mentioning a specific memory of the person who died, or gently naming when grief seems unbearably heavy and professional support might help hold it. We'll also explore how workplace policies, teletherapy, and online communities can either quietly scaffold someone's healing or unintentionally push them to pretend they're fine before they're ready. Some of the most powerful support happens in quiet, ordinary moments. A late-night text answered, a meeting rescheduled without fuss, a name spoken when everyone else goes silent. Grief can reshape attention, memory, even the sense of time. People describe days that feel foggy or tilted, where basic tasks take unexpected effort. Friends, managers, and online peers may only see missed deadlines or unanswered messages. In this episode, we'll look at how to read those subtle signals, respond without hovering, and suggest extra support before crisis hits, especially when screens are the main doorway into someone's life. Most people assume that being supportive means finding the right comforting line. The data points somewhere else. 2 quiet, uninterrupted minutes of listening can shift someone's actual stress chemistry. That's not poetic, it's physiological. So the core skill isn't eloquence, it's creating short pockets of safety where nothing needs to be fixed. One way to do that is to follow what some therapists call the 80-20 rule of presence. Aim for 80% listening, 20% talking. In practice, that might sound like brief, grounding prompts. Take your time. I'm still here. Say more about that part, rather than advice. If you notice yourself planning your response while they're speaking, that's a cue to slow down. Specificity also matters. Instead of, "let me know if you need anything," try, "I'm free Thursday after 6. Want company while you eat or ignore dinner entirely?" Grief often saps executive function. Concrete options lower the effort needed to accept help. The same goes for digital support. "Can I text you on Sunday mornings to check in?" You never have to reply. Talking about the person who died can feel risky, but most mourners report that hearing their person's name is a relief, not a setback. A short story, "I still think about the way Jordan lit up our team meetings," can briefly restore a sense of continuity when everything else feels broken. If they change the subject, follow their lead. If their face softens, you've probably given a needed dose of recognition. At work, look for subtle shifts rather than dramatic breakdowns. The ultra-reliable colleague who starts missing minor details, the manager whose camera is always off now, the employee who stops chiming in on chat. You don't need to probe for disclosures. A simple, "I've noticed things seem heavier lately. Would it help to move this deadline or redistribute part of this project?" signals that their humanity isn't in competition with their role. Supporting someone over time also means tolerating oscillation. One week they might want to dissect medical decisions, the next they're sharing memes. Treat both as valid expressions rather than contradictions. The goal isn't to steer them toward acceptance, but to stay flexible enough that your presence can meet them wherever they are that day. Think of support like learning a new instrument. You don't master it by reading about it, but by practicing simple riffs over and over in real situations. Here are a few support riffs you can try. The micro check-in, a one-line message such as, "Thinking of you today, no need to reply." It keeps the connection alive without demanding energy. The option sandwich. Pair an observation with two concrete choices. You've got a lot on your plate this week. I can join your call and take notes, or quietly handle email follow-up. What would actually help? The permission slip. Explicitly normalize mixed reactions. It's okay if you need to bail halfway through this. We can reschedule or just sit in silence. Notice how none of these require big speeches. They work because they reduce decisions, protect dignity, and let the grieving person set the volume on closeness. Over time, small, consistent gestures often matter more than any single, dramatic act of care. 76% of employees say their workplace response shaped how they healed. That hints at a bigger shift. As grief becomes a public health concern, support may move from extra kindness to basic infrastructure, like good lighting in a building. Digital tools, from memorial platforms to AI afterlives, could become as common as guest books once were, but with higher stakes. The open question is who sets the norms and whose mourning styles get built into the code. Your challenge this week: treat support like learning a quiet duet. Choose one person who's had a loss in the last year. Without asking for updates, offer one small, specific kindness, like saving them a seat in a meeting or texting a photo that might make them smile. Notice how these soft notes, repeated, slowly change the whole emotional soundtrack. This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. To keep learning with structured courses and more insights, go to owlup.co. Until tomorrow!